Hi, and welcome to the second video of week 14 in English 2332. I just want to kind of provide some final reminders for you as we get ready to face the last week of the semester. Kind of keep in mind that I keep saying the last week in week 15, and that's the last week of classes, but then we have a whole nother week, May 5th through the 8th, which is just final exams. But anyway, we were originally scheduled to have a quiz this week. The third unit exam was scheduled for this week, but we pushed that back to next week, so Thursday, May the 1st. Then your final exam will be the following week, and we're looking right now at Tuesday, May the 6th. Tuesday, May the 6th, it'll be open all day. It'll probably be 100 questions, multiple choice. You know the drill, you understand how that works. Now, all we've got left right now is just Macbeth. I hope you're enjoying reading that, and it certainly would not hurt to read a summary of the play before you begin. You absolutely want to know who all the characters are before you start. Be sure you know the difference between Macbeth and Duncan and MacDonald and Malcolm and Fleance and Banquo. Be sure you know who all the different people are. They're almost all guys. Although it's interesting that this is one of the few plays where Shakespeare does have a very strong female character, a strong female lead character. And so Lady Macbeth, even though she's evil, well, I'll let you decide for yourself. Still an interesting play. I do encourage you to go online and shop around and look for yourself a good summary of the play, a good synopsis before you read it. Then as you read it, you want to look for specific examples of the themes. Themes like ambition. What is ambition? When do you see this ambition? Here we see in fate versus free will again. Now this is not the same type of fate versus free will we saw back in Oedipus. This is a different type. But the question basically is, did Macbeth have any choice at all, or was he pushed into everything by either the witches or his wife? Do women, I think Shakespeare is asking us, have more control over the world than we realize? You also want to look for examples of appearance versus reality. We have a lot of visions here. Witches and witchcraft. Don't forget that Shakespeare wrote this play probably in 1603, in order to impress the new King of England, James I, who had been King James VI of Scotland. So he's been king, and he knows what it's like to be kings, and he himself has a strong belief in witches and witchcraft. In fact, he wrote a book on the subject. So William Shakespeare, in order to appease the new king, is writing in a way that will appeal to the king about one of his favorite subjects. He's basically trying to suck up. So kind of keep that in mind. And also, Shakespeare's audience believed in witches and ghosts and spirits and demons and stuff. Witches at this time in their culture were always evil. They had animals, graymalkin, cats and toads, who were their familiars, which were their connection to the devil and a source of power and information. And Shakespeare really plays on that. Now, where did the information come from? Where did he get the play? Remember, Shakespeare didn't create a lot of his plays out of thin air. He instead got them from other sources, and we know he got this play from a book called Holinshed's Chronicles, which was basically a history book. Because yeah, some of these events are rooted in history. Scotland did have a king named Duncan. They also had a king named Macbeth, although the two were separated in history. And Macbeth was not an evil king. In fact, he ruled for about 11 years. In the play, it's hard to tell because once he becomes king, time really becomes disjointed. It's really hard to follow how much time is passing in the play, and that kind of serves to represent the chaos and the confusion of Macbeth's reign. He was a terrible king. He was a tyrant and a murderer and just, probably cheated at cards. We don't know. But anyway, be looking for examples of those themes that I mentioned, and they are on the PowerPoint, of course. The motifs you don't have to really worry about. A motif is just like it's a recurring idea that's not a main idea. You see it pop up a couple of times. Kind of keeping in mind what blood is. Don't forget that they feared nature. To us, nature is wholesome and attractive and beautiful, and everybody goes out to the mountains to see the beautiful green trees and the meadows and stuff. To them, they didn't know what was hiding behind the trees. They didn't understand nature, and so it was something to be feared and cut down when they could. And of course, they didn't really know what sleep was. I'm not sure we do, but they saw sleep as literally a small form of death. So kind of keep that in mind as you read the play. I do also encourage you to take notes. It will really help you to understand it better. Then, after you've got a good summary, after you know who all the characters are, after you've read the play, if you want to go back and watch a video, a YouTube video, that will really cement it for you. It'll really help you. Now, don't forget, you really, really, really want to study hard. You want to prepare well for the last unit exam. Because if you'll take some time and really prep for that material, then that'll give you less to study for the final. Because yes, the final is comprehensive, and you will see a lot of the same material from the third unit exam on the final. But you'll also see material from the first unit exam and the second unit exam. So basically, everything on the syllabus. All right, I'm in the process of grading your papers. I think I've got 6 or 8 of them left, and I'll get those back to you as quickly as I can. If you have any questions, drop me an email, and we will talk some more next week.